Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a night for the Pirates. The Pirates just beat Georgetown 78-67. I'm Veronica Gail, joined with Ashley Stepper. Ashley, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Love to see a Pirate win and very happy to be here at the Prudential Center under these very crazy circumstances.
Definitely crazy circumstances, but let's get into the game. So, riveting first half with Seton Hall leading the entire time and ending with a pretty big lead. Ash, what did you think of that first half? I
thought the first half was really great for the Hall. I mean, they looked really awesome. Gail and Roden definitely led for the Pirates with a lot of points. At certain points in the game even, they each, I think, put up 11 points, and Georgetown only had 13 points in total, which is crazy to think about, whereas Georgetown, I think, looked a little messy. Again, I'm not really sure what Ewing was doing there with his subbing because his players on the court just weren't doing much. So.
Definitely. I mean, I believe Georgetown was down 19 at the end of the first half, and I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was definitely a big loss. But the second half, they definitely stepped it up. So, Ash, what did you think of that second half?
So the second half, if the performances were reversed, I think everyone would have been on the edges of their seats a little bit more going into the second half. But I think the Pirates set themselves up well enough that they could get a little bit lazy, which they did in the second half. I think they gave themselves enough of a lead that they could kind of just sit back and maybe start that Christmas vacation a little bit early. But I think Georgetown started to push through a little bit, but it was unfortunately too little too late for them, as it was they dug themselves way too deep into their grave there. But I think a lot of players showed up for Seton Hall and then just kind of flatlined a little bit, as if you looked at the scoring was tied almost for the two teams in the second half.
I mean, definitely going into the first half, Georgetown's highest scorer only had 4 points, so they definitely really needed to step it up, and they absolutely did. With the second half being almost if you just look at the points from the second half, it was almost a tie game the entire game. So, getting more into it, Ash, who are some key players that stuck out to you?
Okay, so usually when you're thinking about Seton Hall and Georgetown, like going into the game, the players that we had discussed, I don't think are the same ones that we're necessarily discussing right now. So the key players from Seton Hall, you think of like Mamukelashvili, obviously. Shavar Reynolds has really shown himself up a lot this year. And then also from Georgetown, you think of like Pickett, who also is one of their senior leading scorers. But however, I would look at it a little bit differently now, looking at it post-game, where Seton Hall, Gail had a great game with a career high of 30 points. Prior to this, for the season, Gail averaged 10.7 points per game. He almost tripled that. That's insane. Similarly, Roden put up a double-double and performed greatly also. I think he had in the game in the high 20s with points, and then Ike Obiagu almost had a double-double himself. So that kind of shows the depth of Willard's bench here, in that the love is shared and the points don't just rely on Mamukelashvili to score all them, who only put up 2 points, might I add.
Yeah, definitely. So you definitely really saw a change in the Pirates. Any Georgetown people stick out to you?
Yeah, I was really surprised because going into the game, we had talked about two of their seniors, Pickett and Blair, who were their two leaders, but then at the half had 3 and 4 points apiece, which really is not enough. And then in the second half, Wahab, who was one of their other underclassmen players, I believe, put up a double-double. So he kind of helped carry the team there. And then we were also saying, while watching the game, that it seems like there's more, I guess, an even spread of points scored by the Georgetown team. So their leader might have had 11 points, and then behind that person was 8 points and then 4 points. So it's not just those large numbers that you might see from Seton Hall, where there's Gail with 30 points and then Mamu with 2 points. Not as equal of a distribution.
Yeah, definitely. So that is it for our post-game coverage of the game against Seton Hall versus Georgetown. Again, the final score was 78-67. Ash, great having you here at Prudential.
It was an honor and a privilege to be here with you, Veronica.
We'll see you next time.